Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be going over Desert Wind. Desert Wind is a group of wind units from the desert region that reached a phenomenal level of power back when the Desert Nensos were initially released. These Nensos came out during the Desert Babel time, and after their release, Wind was quickly propelled to the top of the charts as the best element, at least for quite a while afterwards. So these units consist of Nefertiti, Bolt, Rahu, Ramses, and Lucian. So I'm going to start with Nefertiti. Nefertiti is a limited unit in Japan, and she will come to global when the Desert Babel is released. So let's take a quick look at her. So you'll notice her leader skill is 50% HP, 30% attack, and 20% Thunder Exploit. Thunder Exploit means that you'll get additional damage on Thunder units when you use a Wind skill. It doesn't mean it's from a Wind unit, but the skill itself has to be Wind. So one of the reasons I prefer using the Nefertiti lead skill over, say, Bolt's or Ramses' Kaigen leader skill is Nefertiti really benefits from the extra HP as a forecaster, or diviner as they're called in global. And the Thunder Exploit gives you additional damage on Bolt's kit and Nefertiti's kit. Ramses doesn't have any wind skills on his actual kit, but he still benefits a lot from the 30% attack. So you'll notice that I have the Ramses Nenso on Nefertiti, and that's because the group bonus that Ramses would get that gives him the speed that I showed you the other week, or rather, yeah, the other day, the extra 13 speed that you see there applies to both him and Nefertiti. So it doesn't matter which unit uses it, it will apply to both of them as long as they're both on the field. The 480 HP will apply to all of the desert units in the party as well. So I'm going to skip over to Ramses next to show you what's on him. So you'll see I have the Ankh Nenso on him, and the Ankh Nenso will give 64 attack power to all of the desert units on the field with Ramses. So Bolt, Nefertiti, and Rahu would all get 64 attack. Now Rahu and Nefertiti can't use it, but Bolt certainly can. This other group you see down here with the 80 defense, 26 magic defense, and 10 accuracy, you don't have anyone on the field who can actually use it. That's actually a Lyle and Ankh group, and we're not going to field them with our Desert Wind team. So I already did my review on Ramses, so I'm not going to go into detail on him. Next, we're going to take a look at Bolt. Bolt has the only 5-star Nenso in the entire desert region. So one of the reasons Desert Wind is so powerful is most of the Nensos are 4-star Nensos, and those are much easier to obtain than 5-star Nensos. However, Bolt's Nenso is insane. So I leave my Bolt Nensos without any limit breaks, and that's because his Nenso is so great on so many units. You really want at least 4 before you start fusing them and aiming for max limit break. You're going to want 1 for Rahu, 1 for Carla, 1 for Bolt, and 1 for Hisham. And I'm going to go into a little more detail about what this Nenso does when we go into the map, but this is an insanely good Nenso for a couple of reasons. For one thing, the actual speed that it gives your units, see, at 0 limit breaks, it gives you 5 speed on the base unit and 7 speed for your entire wind group, or not wind group, but your entire desert group. So everyone who's desert in the field, when you're wearing this, gets an additional 7 speed, and that gets even higher as you limit break it. Also, Bolt gains an additional 49 attack and 81 dex. However, you will note that the Ankh Nenso and the Bolt Nenso won't stack. So, Bolt will get the 81 dex, but instead he'll get the attack off the Ankh Nenso because the Ankh Nenso is currently more powerful than the Bolt Nenso. This 49 attack group and 81 dex group is for Bolt and Carla. So since Carla's not on the field right now, she will not benefit. And there's 2 more vision abilities down here that you can see. One of them's a buff and one of them's an attack. And they're both pretty good, and I'll show them to you when we get into the map. Also, this Nenso comes with a skin for Bolt that you'll see me using. And the final main piece of the group is Rahu. And the reason we like using Rahu is, one, she's an insanely good support. If you don't have Rahu, what have you been doing with your life? She is one of, if not the best support in the game, and she makes really, really good use of the buff on this Nenso. Much better than just about any other unit in the game, and the buff is insane. I really can't describe how good the buff on this Nenso is. Not to mention the extra speed. Even if you're not running Bolt, you can run Rahu in a desert party, and you still get all that beautiful, beautiful speed. So the last member of the group is Lucian, and Lucian isn't necessarily bad. It's just he's power crept. He's power crept pretty well by this point. He can still get the job done. He still has some pretty high damage AoE nukes, and he'll come in handy in a pinch, especially if you don't have any other units. He still can succeed. He's just not as good. And you'll see that there's another 4-star Nenso, and this is the Retzius Lucian Nenso. And it gives defense for your party, your desert party. And defense isn't the best stat in the game, but hey, it's something. Also, the Lucian and Retzius group get initial jewels. So those extra jewels for that Sand Dragon, he'll probably be able to charge up Sand Dragon turn 1 in global once you get it, because these starting jewels will stack with the hat in global. Also, the base on it is attack. It says 11 attack here. And I'm not even sure if I even max leveled this. It's probably higher than that. And I don't think I even bothered to limit break it because the Nenso is just not that good. But hey, it's something, right? So we're gonna hop into the map here, and I'm gonna show you what the Bolt Nenso does. So one thing you'll notice is my Bolt is running the sub Dark Knight, or Dark Cavalier rather, and his main job. But what we're gonna take a look at here is actually the attack, and I'm gonna use Rahu to show off the buff. Like any forecaster, you like to start with HP. And this is especially good if you don't have your Ramses completely maxed out yet, because it'll give your Ramses the extra HP he needs. And notice, he's already at 6.4k HP, and he's going to get even more with the Forecaster buff. But let's take a quick look at the buff here. Right, it's 60 joules, and because Rahu's a Chronomancer, she can get an extra cast on it. It's AoE around you, and it's instant cast. And what you just saw there is Rahu just buffed all of their damage modifiers by 50. That's right, 50 on their damage modifiers. That's a lot of damage. And if I run 5 units, I tend to run Yomi as my 5th. Although she's not a desert unit, Yomi has those nice Shrine Maiden plus buffs. And that will get your damage up even higher, and it'll allow Ramses to easily hit like 10k damage. And we'll just take a quick look here. Ramses now at 8.5k HP, so he can tank most things pretty well. Just imagine if my Ramses had the extra, I think it's 20-25% HP off of gate 2. He'd probably have close to 10,000 HP, if not more than 10,000. Nefertiti is rocking a 5.7k, which will allow her to get some really nice wind nukes off if you drop her HP. And Nefertiti has the Battle Mage passive, or reactive, so she can tank a little bit more without the risk of dying like other forecasters or diviners do. Now, the other attack on here is, the attack on the Nenso is this. It's a nice AoE, and this is nice because Bolt really doesn't have much AoE in his kit. And once he attacks, he gets Wind Up and Thunder Attack up, and that'll increase his damage. So, if you really want to see what this party can do, I have another video of me using the Desert Wind party in a raid against a giant Eisen, and I highly suggest you check it out. I'll put it in my notes below. And if you have any other questions about Desert Wind, feel free to ask. I'll probably go over a couple other teams too eventually, but Desert Wind is the only team that really stands out as a mono-element, mono-regional team above all others. Regional teams are pretty tough. The only other region that does it well is Waterlust and Firelust. And that's just because they have a lot of units that are that are mages that just happen to sync up well. And even Waterlust, I don't even think fields a full mage team. So maybe I'll go over those eventually. So that's really all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.